Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name's Nastasia, and today I'm talking about some things that I was really inspired by the idea of, just like, what kind of mother do I want to be? Really, what kind of woman do I want to be, but how that affects how I am as a mother to my son and his life and all of that. But like I said, it plays in everything: how I am as a wife, how I am as a child of God, as a friend, all this stuff. But I was inspired to talk about this because I was actually talking to Kai the other day about how as kids we're always asked, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And everybody assumes that means like an occupation. And I want to teach my children different standards of, like, when they're asked that question, I want them to first think about their character, that they want to be kind, that they want to be loving, that they want to, be loyal and a good friend and spread the gospel and just different things like that. And so it inspired me of, like, what do I want to be? Like, who do I want to be when it comes to being a good mother and who God calls me to be? So that inspired this video. So I hope you guys enjoy it. If you end up liking it, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on a video every time I post. That was a tongue twister. My Instagram is right here, so you can see the behind the scenes of my life. And I have a Patreon, if you didn't know. I would love if you check me out over there. It's just another, it's like a subscription service for more video content, and it's exclusive to my patrons over there. And so there's a lot more stuff over there, a year's worth of content. I put newsletters out, I write thank you letters, I interact with you guys more. It's a great place. I love my Patreon. Thank you so much if you are subscribed, and let's get into this video. So first thing, also, this isn't necessarily in levels of importance, like from 1 to whatever. It's all scattered, but one that really came to my mind is taking care of my body. Taking care of my temple is what the Lord refers to our bodies as, nutritionally, and when it comes to exercise. Like, I want to take care of myself. And one, it's the obvious, to be able to stick around for my children and their lives as long as possible. That's the obvious. But also, I just never want them to be worried about my health as much as I can prevent it. I also want them to look at me and be inspired by how I take care of myself, and, see me building muscles. One day when I, hopefully have daughters as well, I want them to look up to me and not think that they have to, like, I want them to be confident in their bodies when they take care of themselves and stuff like that, not in a certain size or what the scale says, you know what I mean? But I love exercise, I love working out, I love, a nutrient-dense diet, and, just living life to the fullest in that way, which is why I'm so happy that I partnered with Freebeat Fit today. They're a really cool company, and they sent me literally the coolest bike I've ever seen in my life. It is the Freebeat Fit Lit bike, and it is gorgeous. It's the most beautiful bike ever. It's an indoor bike, and I, would do cycling classes and different things like that, and I had, like, monthly subscriptions to cycle places and stuff. I can genuinely say this is the highest quality bike I've ever used. It's gorgeous. And I was really grateful that they wanted to send me one of their bikes to tell you guys about, because especially with the holidays coming up and everything like that, like, if you are looking for something like this, if you've been in the market for something like this, it's such a great investment, because you can obviously take it, to anywhere you move, and you can save on a gym membership if that's kind of what you're looking for. You can save on, like, if you live in the winter and it's hard to ride your bike outside in the snow or different things, this eliminates that. It's so nice. Let me tell you a little bit about it. The Freebeat Lit bike is equipped with a rotatable HD 22-inch touchscreen. This thing is huge. It's like, I was so impressed when I saw this. It's designed to seamlessly transition from cycling to strength training, so they have both. It offers hundreds of on-demand classes with just one membership, and the all-access Freebeat membership provides household access of up to 10 different accounts. It was designed in Switzerland. The wooden wheel is super unique to them, and it just is gorgeous. One of the first things I've noticed, like Kai, he literally was like, this is like beautiful. It's outstanding in terms of usability, durability, and versatility as well. It has 100 levels of resistance levels with auto resistance options, which automatically changes your resistance to match the instructor's like cues. It's so cool. So like normally with a typical bike or in a typical like cycle class, you would have to change the resistance like yourself. It wasn't automatic, but with this, you can have a setting where it automatically changes it for you. That's like one of the coolest things to me. I mean, it also holds you very accountable, but I think it's so cool. I'm surprised other bikes haven't thought of this, but I don't know. I think it's really cool. It also has vertical and horizontal seat adjustment with saddle sensors on the seat to improve your gamified workouts and gain more points by detecting your form of riding. So like I was just mentioning, there's a gamification feature which allows you to build a rhythmic flow and follow the beat to compete against friends and families. So it's like a game. So you're working out, but you can make it a little bit more enjoyable to get through those tough moments. All the users can enjoy new classes every day with a minimum of 15 to 30-minute workouts. You can achieve personal goals and progress by tracking your workout metrics like power, cadence, and resistance. And the price is really great, especially for the quality. And I have a code for you guys. They have a great deal right now. You can use my code for an additional $100 off on top of the existing deals on Freebeat's website. I will have the link down below. Feel free to use my link and my code to save yourself some money. This would be literally the Christmas gift of the century. But especially if you are looking for something like this, if you have a home gym, you definitely don't need a home gym. We do not have one. We just have this little area and it works great. It fits perfectly. Because it's so beautiful, it's not an eyesore at all. I got the beige color and I think it's gorgeous. But going off of that, it makes it so much easier to get my workouts in. And this could look different for everybody, right? But like for me, I love getting in both cardio and weightlifting, which is another thing that's great about the Freebeat membership is they have strength training classes as well. So you don't have to, it's not like it's just cardio, it's both, which is really awesome. But I like both of those things. I like to strengthen my muscles. I like to build muscles. I love just having strength to me, especially to keep up with little Eros. He's only a baby and yet I still feel like I have to keep up with him. And also just taking my nutrition seriously too. Like I am a happier person when I take my nutrition seriously. And so that's one of the most important things to me in my life is making sure I'm taking care of this temple that God gave me well. You know, we can't know the day that will be our last, but at the same time, I don't want to take for granted a single day that God gives me on this earth. Next, and this might be obvious to you if you've been here a minute, but I want my children to see me reading the Bible, praying and worshiping every single day. Even if it's not like some big formal thing, maybe it's just in the car on the way to future, sports practices or something, but we have worship music playing, or we're praying on the way to those things, or, just even prayers before bedtime, or reading them scripture, just different things like that. I've already started doing that with Eros, but I also want them to see me. When I say them, I mean my future children as well as Eros, praying that the Lord gives us future children. But I want my children to see me having my own quiet time as well, and seeing that my cup gets filled and overflowed through the Lord. That I don't have to chase after meaningless things in this world to try to fill me up, because they won't. So that one day, like as they get older, one day they will know, they'll remember that's how my mom filled her cup, was with the Lord, and it was with the word of God. And I just want them to see me doing that. I don't want to just tell them. I want them to see it too. So this next one, I want to be a mom who is consistently cleaning, but not constantly cleaning. And what I mean by that is I think there is this level of, I don't want to be constantly like a Martha in the Bible who looking a certain way and, excuse me, having my house and my space a certain way. looking like that is my, is an idol to me. I don't want to be that. I don't want my kids to grow up stressed about how something looks. I don't want them to have an impossible standard on their life. I want them to know what's really important, or the most important. But I also want to be consistently clean. I don't want it to be that they feel like they're always living in chaos, because I do so much better as a person just in life in a clean environment. You're probably like this too. Let me know down below if you're like this. But when my room is really messy, like when when our room is messy, I feel crazy. Like I don't sleep as well. I don't get as much done. I feel so sluggish and gross and tired. Like I just like having a clean space. And I want my children to feel like they have that space to play in and, all that. And kids will be messy and it's not going to be perfect. That's why I say not constantly, but consistently. Every day I want to be doing something to try to keep the space tidy and picked up. I want to have a schedule. I want to be organized. And I want them to see me taking care of things so that they know how to take care of things when they grow up as well. I don't want them to become obsessed. I don't want them to get some weird, pressure in their mind about keeping things perfect. But I do want, my children to see a space that they can live in clearly and not chaotically, and know that they want to have that as they grow older too. Next thing, a lot of these are obvious, but like I feel like it's one of those things that like you're like, oh, I didn't even think about like that makes sense, but I didn't think about it. And one of them is to have a healthy view of finances. I want to be the mom that has a healthy view of money. I don't want to ever feel like, oh my gosh, we have no money for anything. Like that's how I've lived my life. A lot of my life is this scarcity mindset of like, we can't even afford groceries. We can't do this when we can, if that makes sense. And I also don't want to live in a place where I am, irresponsible with money. Thankfully, obviously I have my husband Kai, and so it's both of us. It's not just me, which is extremely helpful. So I don't have to worry about it being all on my shoulders. But like, I feel like I didn't have a great view of money growing up and into early adulthood. I am trying very hard with the help of the Lord to change that view and see money as a tool, not as evil or good, because it says that the love of money is the root of all evil, but money itself is not. And so I don't want to be constantly chasing after more money. I also don't want to be in this place of thinking that like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be poor the rest of my life. Like, I just want to have open hands and know that the Lord has it all under control. And I want to teach that to my children too. So, there might be times where we can't afford something, but I don't want to make it a big deal. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to be like, honey, we can't do it. I want to give it to you so bad, but we can't give you that. We don't have the money. We don't have it, like, because then they'll get scared. Like, I don't want them to be scared. If we can't afford something, I want it to be kind of more of a nonchalant thing. I want it to be more like, that's not something that we can spend our money on right now, but maybe in the future we can. Like, let's take a picture of it so we can remember for next time, or, whatever it is. I don't want to make a huge deal out of it. I want them to know that we're always going to do everything we can to provide for them, and that the Lord provides for us. So just a healthy view of finances in general, I think, is so important to impart on children at a young age, and just how to handle money and how we view money. This one is very specific. You might be like, where'd that come from? But I never want to be funny or sarcastic at my child's expense. I never want to embarrass them just to look funny to the other grown-ups or whatever it is. And I want to be their biggest advocate and their biggest fan. If somebody is saying some kind of sly remark or whatever about my kid, I don't want to just let it pass. I want to be like, what do you mean by that? And be the defender of my child. I want my kid to see me whether they're overhearing it or whether they're next to me or whether they learn about it later or never. Maybe they'll never hear it, but I want to always be my child's biggest advocate, because God is my biggest advocate and he defends me and he loves me. So why wouldn't I do that for a child that I love more than almost anybody in the whole world other than my husband? Like, I just have noticed so many adults, they treat their children differently than they probably want to in theory, just because they want to look a certain way to other adults. It's like, really, we're not over that? We're not over that we want to look a certain way at the expense of our children's feelings? Like, it's sad because children are so forgiving and they bounce back so quickly that we think, oh, well, this isn't going to hurt them. This isn't, whatever, they'll get over it. But like, there are things that I remember that I was so embarrassed about, or I felt like no one was in my corner about certain things. And it still hurts me to this day. That's not me trying to hold on to a grudge. I remember it, and it actually hurt my heart, and it changed some things in me. And I'm not going to be perfect, but these are things that I'm praying about, and I want to be very careful to hold my tongue when it comes to speaking about my child. I never want to speak ill of them, and I never want especially them to overhear me speaking ill of them, ever. I just think it's so important. So I want to be the mom that's their biggest fan. And yeah, that doesn't always mean that they'll be doing all the right choices, but I want to love them in that discipling and teach them the right way along with Kai, but still love them. The next thing is I want to be the mom that they look up and they see me loving my husband, Kai, their father, very, very well, very often. I think it's so important that children know for a fact that their parents are in love. It's very, very sad when you are a child who you're pretty sure your parents aren't in love, or it's just something you never really think about ever because you never see them loving each other well. So I want them to see us kiss in front of them. I want them to see us dancing and hugging and snuggling and putting each other first. Like, I want them to see that, and I want them to see us, even when we get in arguments, I want them to see us make up as well and to figure it out, because it's not good to teach a child you get in an argument and then you just ignore it and it passes. Like, that's not good. You want to teach them to apologize and to forgive, and that, you know, fights happen, but so does making up. And I want to see them, I want them to see me love him well. I never ever want them to doubt that their mommy loves their daddy, ever. And that our marriage is secure in Christ, and they never have to worry about losing us. They never have to worry about us separating. I want them to always have that firm foundation, knowing that we're not going anywhere, and they can rest assured in that. Next thing, I want to be the mom that tries at least my best to see the world and circumstances from their perspective. I think a lot of times we forget as adults that our kids see the world very differently than we do. And something we might look and be like, oh my gosh, yeah, you can't have your one toy right now, but you can have literally 99 of these other toys. So why are you so upset about that one toy? Just get over it. To them, though, it's a huge deal. And even if we can't fully understand it from their perspective, trying to just see it from their perspective and trying to see that it clearly is a big deal to them. And even if I can't change the circumstances, I want to try to, you know, get to their level and be with them and talk through it with them. Because we are so rushed. We're so rushed and we're just like, oh my gosh, just get over it. I can't deal with this right now. But it's like, that's your child. How rushed do you really have to be? How much time do you really need for that other thing? Is it really more important than them? And you might be like, yeah, well, when it happens 30 times a day, I get it. But just trying to see things from their perspective, why they might be crying, why they might be so clingy today, why they don't want to take a nap without you, why they, you know, are more fussy if they're a baby, or why they are throwing a tantrum. I'm not saying that you just like allow bad behavior, But I think there's a difference between discipling them, leading them the way the Bible calls us to, and just throwing a temper tantrum of our own and just expecting them to get with it because they're the kid and you're the adult. Like, God treats us with so much grace and mercy and love. And if I can even impart a fraction of that grace and mercy and love to my children, that is the goal. Like, I just want to try to be as understanding as possible so that they know that I'm, like I said earlier, their biggest advocate, and that I love them, and that even if I don't understand, like, I am on their side, and I'm trying to understand, and open that line of clear communications. I don't want them to feel like they can't talk to me, just because, well, mommy doesn't even try to know what I'm going through. She doesn't even care. I want them to know I always care. Okay, and the last one might be one of the most important to me. I really want to try to have a positive mindset and approach to life. I want to try to fill each day of theirs with joy. I know that's not going to be perfect at all. Like today, I just feel so unmotivated. I don't even know why. I mean, I'm tired, but from, lack of sleep. Baby life. But I also am just unmotivated, if I'm being honest. It's not just the tired. I could get more stuff done, and I'm just slacking in a lot of ways. But I don't want that to just be life. I don't want to just decide, oh, it's a bad day, maybe tomorrow will be better. Like, we have the joy of the Lord, and his mercies are new every morning, and every day is a good day because we're blessed with him being king. And so I want to teach that to my children, and that doesn't mean toxic positivity. If they're going through something hard, I'm not gonna be like, okay, let's just put a smile on that face. Like, but if it's one of those things where it's like, I'm in a bad mood, I don't know why, it's like, okay, let's try to turn this day around. Let's do something. Like, I want to try to be that encouragement for them. And of course, my husband does these things too. This isn't supposed to be me carrying all the weight, but since this is a video about how I'm trying to be a better mom, that's what it's about. But just being more positive and joyful and content in the circumstances we're given. That's easier said than done, of course. And I'm sure your circumstances look very different than mine, and mine look different than the next person's and all that. But I just want them to know that throughout life, no matter what they're going through, they can try to cling to joy and positivity, because whatever the circumstances, the rock of the Lord is stronger for them to stand on and find their foundation in. I want to be an example of that. And even in the hard days, I want to try to find positivity. And I want to try to also, like, with that in practical ways, I just want to get out of the house more. I want to get outside. I want to, do adventures and have crafts and just do fun things. I don't want to always be reliant on, television or different things like that. I want to be the positive influence on my children's life. I don't want to just be like, all right, let's just let the TV tell us if we're happy today or whatnot. Like, I want to lead in that. Well, my husband obviously leading, and then me behind, and then the children. But I want us to lead in positivity and joy for their lives. I want them to look back at their childhood and just feel like it was filled with so many happy, happy memories. So, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Don't forget to check the link down below for Freebeat Fit, the lit bike. I just love it so much, and you can use my code to get some money off. They have deals running too, and with the holidays coming up, I'm sure they'll have even more. But they have so many different options. I think they have a pink bike somewhere too. Like, they just have so many cool bikes. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon. Bye.